My name is Lew Aytes, and this installation is called Mind Trip, Journey Through a Disordered Mind. And it was an installation that was put in place as part of the Senior Capstone Project at California State University in Monterey Bay, the end of May through the 1st of June 2012. Mind Trip starts with a walk around a fence, and this fence is representative of a commercial fence that you might find in any urban area. On top of the fence is a silhouette of a city skyline, and if you follow the steps along the fence, there are miniature characters that are connected to larger pieces inside the brain or the main body of the installation. What you're looking at is the entrance to the installation, which walks you through a giant brain frontal lobe, and you ultimately walk out the brain stem at the other side. I guess this is inviting you to walk through the brain and begin this mind trip journey. This piece is titled Around Midnight, and it is Miles Davis. It came from the 1963 concert by him at the Monterey Jazz Festival. As you can see, it has multiple materials. It is sculpted in clay and has a trumpet and a fedora hat, which he was fond of hats, and so this kind of brings things together. What Miles suffered from was long-term drug addiction, and some said over the years that his genius was linked to his drug use. However, he dried out and he came back and played better than ever. When you think of jazz, Miles is always at the top of that list. This character is representational of a histrionic character. If it looks familiar, or if he looks familiar, that's only a coincidence. I sculpted this in clay and then made a silicon mold and then poured a cold cast version, and the patina is 24 karat gold. It seemed appropriate when it was finished that I would include the mold with the person looking at himself as if it were a mirror. This is a 14-inch diameter piece, and it is sculpted in Super Sculpey, and it's called DID, short for dissociative identity disorder. This particular disorder deals with a host and then multiple characters that are always with this host. They can come in and out of the host's life at different times and may reappear. This particular piece goes with the brain, which is just above it, a human-size model of a brain. And this is a mechanical piece. When it turns and you look directly over this piece, if it turns for at least 30 seconds, when it comes to a stop and you look at the brain, then the brain appears to be turning, and that effect is called afterimage. What you're looking at is titled Purple Haze, and it again is a combination of real items and sculpted items. This is a life-size bas-relief of Jimi Hendrix. He is set into a shadow box with a curtain, and he's holding a replica of the guitar that he was well known for, and he played at the one and only Monterey Pop Festival, and that's the Fender Stratocaster. Jimi Hendrix suffered from drug and alcohol addiction, which ultimately brought his life to an end at a very young age. This piece is titled Down on Me. It represents Janis Joplin, another rock and roll icon of the 60s. She was an alcoholic and drug user, which, like Jimi Hendrix, brought her life, or ended her life, far too soon. This particular piece was sculpted in Super Sculpey and then painted. It's set into a shadow box, and she's holding a microphone and has a well-known boa around her neck, and she is wearing appropriately Janis Joplin sunglasses. This piece is called Self-Portrait, subtitled Neurons, Some Fire, Some Don't, and it's probably the most representative piece of myself. And sometimes those neurons do fire and sometimes they just don't. This particular piece is found objects, and it is shaped with hardwood veneer, glass-blowing tubes, which are lit from the back. And some have the light reflecting through and some don't. Again, it is life-size, and it is set in a shadow box. This piece is called After Rehearsal, and it is a male dancer sitting and watching the activity that's likely still in a rehearsal. He's sculpted in Roma clay that has not been finished other than a metallic patina used. And he's about 1/8 size. Next piece is a ballerina, and what I was trying to show here is just the lightness and a very happy dance. And it can be a dance that she's on toe, and probably sculpted because my daughter was a dancer, and she always liked this piece, so it was included in the installation. The next piece is called Connecting Point, and it is bronze with a conductor's baton. The background of this piece is that I am a conductor myself, and I understand the connection between the orchestra and the conductor, and the only connection, obviously nonverbal, is the baton during a concert. The next few sculptures are set in a library with a library ladder. They include miniature characters that were done for this installation, and if you look carefully on the ladder you can see smaller ladders, because obviously the little characters would be too small to walk up the full-size ladder. Next character is Robin Williams, and it is shown two parts of Robin, even though he obviously has many other characters that he portrays. But one is showing him in his more normal stand-up comedian Robin person, and the other is from the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. And as someone who is ADHD and bipolar, he has admitted that he often moves from one character to another very quickly. This character is Alfred Hitchcock. It's taken from the Alfred Hitchcock movie that is well known for the spotlight and the black silhouette of his face. Alfred Hitchcock is cold cast resin. It has a metallic black finish. This actually goes with the camera. The camera is found objects, a little bit of everything from the hardware store, scraps of wood, tape, and even a dryer vent hose. The next piece is called Puzzled, and this is taken from a photo of myself and then turned into a puzzle, which much of life is a puzzle for me, so I guess I needed something to represent that. Next piece is called Street Life. This is a very small piece sitting on a curb or a sidewalk, and I was inspired to sculpt this from seeing all of the people that we think about today that for maybe no reason of their own find themselves homeless and without a family or a place to go. It is a sad piece, except for the fact that he has his best friend with him, his little dog, protecting him. This piece is called Manic, and it is a character pulling his face off his head as if to say somehow the feelings that I have in my head and in my face and my hands are sometimes not connected. They seem like someone else's brain is working on my body.